We're in too deep not to handle the Rocker story. The first 600 police officers in for free. Convenient because of fears about violence toward John Rocker. No state of emergency needed. Third inning, Rick Reed against Andrew Jones. Rips it off his left wrist, his non-throwing wrist. Suffered a broken left wrist, but stays in the game. Then on a single by Chipper Jones, running up to back up home plate, pulls up lame, strained his calf too. Next hitter, Andres Galarraga. Home run. Number 19, career hit 2001. Braves up 4-0. He had 4 RBI, 2 for 5. Reed had his wrist examined in the dugout by a trainer. Bottom of 3, John Burkett on the hill. 2 on, 2 out. Edgar to Alfonso to short. Weiss has to hurry. Alfonso beat the throw. The inning's still going. Next hitter, Mike Piazza up. Bases loaded up. Piazza to the vacancy. And he becomes the first National League player since 1935 to have an RBI in 12 straight games. The lead is 4-2. Top of 4. Reed goes to the mound, but can't stay on the mound. Has to leave it. So Pat Mahomes comes in. Mentioned the big game by Piazza because the RBI here. Forgets how many outs. Thinks there are 3. There are only 2. In the meantime, Andrew Jones rips off third base. Mahomes screaming at him to do something. Piazza, unusual for him to make such a play. The next hitter, Brian Jordan, pops up the middle. And Jones can just trot in from third. Braves up 5-2. 8th inning, Rockers all warm, and the crowd gets stupid.
Bottles, golf balls, batteries.
Threw golf balls when he needed a baseball. Good thing it wasn't tactical nuclear weapons night. Rockers safe, made it to the mound to throw in the 8th. First batter, Rob Ventura, choking on a splinter. He's out, 1 away. Rockers' second batter, Todd Zeal. Conks it over to short. Walt Weiss gobbles it up. 2 away. Third batter, and he would only face 3. It's Jay Payton going to third. Chipper Jones had to get rid of it. Good hose to get the out. Rocker 1, 2, 3, and a Braves win 6-4. So Rocker made 2 statements. You heard the first, his pregame remarks, and you saw the second, his pitching. A perfect 8, quieted the fans and subdued the Mets. Brewers and the Phillies, Jason Bere. He had it taking place. To Scott Rowland. He's out. Rob Ducey out. Tom Prince. Out. Am I on Tom Prince? Yeah, he's out. 13K game. 9th inning, all of a sudden. Brewers lead 7-3. James Mouton at the plate. Deep center. Doug Glanville would like to catch it. Does not catch it. Jose Hernandez comes. The guy's talking too loud in the background. Ground rule double for Mouton. 8-3 Brewers. Bob Wickman, also known as Bob Wickman. He will try to close things against Bobby Abreu. Chops that up the middle. 2 people score. The lead is cut. It's 8-6. Curtis Leskanic. He's coming on to face Scott Rowland. Rowland would be the winning run, but he's going away. The Brewers win it 8-6. Now, this game was delayed for about 8 minutes in the 5th when the umpires lost track of the count.
1 on, a rusty Greer says to Gil Heredia, it's not you, it's all me. Greer, just his 2nd home run of the year. He's 2 for 4 in this game. 2 runs scored, 2 RBI. Rangers up 2-0. Bottom of the 2nd, runner at 3rd, 1 out. Esteban Loaiza. On the mound, has his way with John Jaha. Next batter, Loaiza, has his way with Eric Chavez. Rangers still up 2-0. Bottom 6, now 3-0 with the bases full, nobody out. Loaiza getting John Jaha to go where he wants him to go, to Dave Martinez. Jason Giambi will tag. Martinez, play at the plate. He's out. Jace, what happened? No slide? Rangers win 3-1. Loaiza allows just a run in 7 1/3. That lone run, though, Jason Giambi, perhaps thinking about his 22nd home run of the year. He hit it. Texas becomes the first team to win a series from the A's since May 19th and 20th. Oakland. Oh, that's Tim Salmon, the fly ball. Mike Cameron. All right, he's no junior, but he comes close. Darren Erstad tags at 3rd. Cameron's throw, nailing Erstad at the plate. No score, 1 on. Edgar Martinez. Can we say enough about Edgar? He doesn't get enough attention. How about that? The base hit, 79 RBIs for Martinez, 1-0 Seattle. Bottom 4 tied at 1. Olerud against Kent Bottenfield. No doubt. Number 6 for John, 2-1 Seattle. But we're tied at 2 in the bottom of the 6th, and you need a big hit, and it's what Olerud did with the Mets all of last year. Come up with a big hit, and he's doing it for Seattle this year. Maybe that's why they're in first place, among other reasons. Top of the 7th, still 4-2 M's. Arthur Rhodes on the mound. Mo Vaughn tying run at the plate. Ground ball, Olerud. to A-Rod. For one, back to Olerud, double play. Seattle finishing off Anaheim. They move into first place in the AL West, a half game ahead of the A's. Seattle improves to 19-7 in June. Their record at Safeco, 28-12, the best home mark in the AL. Said Olerud about his 12th career two-homer game.
Boone's at first. Wiki Gonzalez at the plate. Takes driver to left, and it is over a wall. His second of the year. Media pressure will be intense for his third. 2-0 the Padres. 2-2. Paul Nevin. Make that Phil Nevin. Probably knows a guy named Paul. And that ball also over a wall. His 16th. Padres up 4-2. Later in the inning, Ruben Rivera up. And Rivera, home run, his 9th. Padres out front by a count of 5-2. To the bottom of the 7th, loaded up, full count, 2 out. Todd Hundley against Kevin Walker, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know. The runner's going, Hundley pops it up. Ryan Klesko gets there to make the play and ends the threat. Still 5-4. Trevor Hoffman trying to close against Gary Sheffield. And he bloops it, but Eric Owens is there to make the play, and the Padres win by 1, a count of 5-4. So Matt Clement got the win despite walking 6th.
For the first time since his short stint there. Johnson's slider simply nasty. Just ask Jeff Bagwell. Bags 1 for 4. He's hitting .279. Richard Hidalgo next. Check out the heat by Johnson. And then Matt Mieske. Mieske going fishing, coming up empty on the slider. 1 on, 2 out. Shane Reynolds on the mound for Houston. Jay Bell at the plate. Jay Bell. This was his only hit. We figured we'd show it. And now you know why. 1 for 4, 1 RBI. He's hitting .274, 1-0 Arizona. Still third. 2 on, 2 out. Steve Finley, so dangerous. And Finley showing off his woodwork. Just golf shot. Number 22, 4-0 Arizona. Top 5 now. Man on second, nobody out. Randy Johnson against Shane Reynolds. He can't get the bunt down. Reynolds, try again. Can't get it down again. He's a pitcher. You know, you should practice the bunting. Johnson would strike out 13 Astros on the night. And then Julio Logo lines it. Danny Batista says, don't even think about it. Take another look just in case you stepped away for a snack. D-backs win 7-1. Randy the story, and why not? The 13 Ks tied his season high. It was the 137th game with 10 or more strikeouts of his career. Shane Reynolds, he's now 1-5 after a 5-0 start. Giants and Rockies. Top of the first, Masato Yoshii looking to win his 3rd straight. Barry Bonds looking to get this one over the fence. 449 feet away. Number 28 on the year. That ties him with Big Mac. 800 RBIs for Bonds, by the way, since coming to the Giants back in '93. Jeff Cirillo, hot rock, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Tom Goodwin would score. Armando Rijos, Terry Shumpert would score. The Rockies were up 5-3. Cirillo 3 for 5 in this game with 3 RBIs. Bottom of the 7th now. Todd Helton. Looking for space, finds it. Larry Walker would score on that. Helton 2 for 5, 1 RBI. This one was simple for Colorado as they take 3 of 4. Rockies score 50 runs in this 4-game series against the Giants. Hot rock Jeff Cirillo, 7 hits, 9 RBIs in his last. They're topless. Top of the first, 2 on. Already 2-0 Twins in a mood for the good comedy. Marcus Jensen, who had 2 RBIs. The pop-up. Tony Graffinino goes out. Abbott goes in, and nobody including the baseball. Ron Coomer scores. Corey Koski trying to score from first. No issues. 4-0 Twins. 2 on, 2 out. Top second, Ron Coomer. That's going to drop in. Christian Guzman will score. 5-0 Twins. 2 RBIs for Coomer. Bottom second, 2 on. Eric Milton, the very talented Eric Milton on the mound. Milton allows 5 hits in 7 innings. Ray Durham can't find it. Jay Cannizzaro out of the island and into the highway. His 4th home run of the year. Cannizzaro, by the way, had a career-high 4 hits. Twins win easily. Minnesota totaling 16 hits off of 5 Chicago pitchers. The White Sox, who are coming off 11 wins in 14 games against the Yanks and Indians, ends up losing 2 of 3 to the last-place Twins. Cologne, it was a mess. He didn't have it. He walked Johnny Damon. And then, this was all in the first inning, he walks Jeff Rebele. And then Cologne walks Mike Sweeney. 20 of his 37 pitches thrown by Cologne were for balls. Next batter, he walks Jermaine Dye. Cologne becomes the 4th pitcher in Major League history to walk the first 4 batters. The Royals score 3 in the first without a hit. Carlos Beltran. He hit a homer from both sides of the plate. We're showing you just 1, but just trust me, it really happened. Beltran's 6th of the year there. He has 7. 5-0 Royals, Mike Sweeney. Looper. Great stop by Roberto Alomar. The flip to Omar Vizquel. That never gets old. Getting Jeff Rebele. Take another look just in case you stepped away to hug your kid. Great range by Alomar, and he sometimes even amazes himself. Meanwhile, Chad Durbin cruising, getting Jim Thome. That would be Jim Thome as Durbin goes 8 2/3, allowing a run and 5 hits. The Royals win 6-1. Sweep for Chad Durbin, considering the whole mess is done already. Man on third, Yanks up 1-0. This stuff's exciting. Pay attention. I mean, you, Kenny. Tino Martinez. Higginson makes the catch. Bernie Williams tags up and scores to make it 2-0. It's now 3-0 man on third. Tigers self-destructing. Jose Vizcaino, fly ball. Higginson camps under it, bobble in it. Drops it. Scott Brocious scores 4-0 Yankees. Error is charged to Higginson on the third base umpire Jeff Kellogg's call. One more look. Higginson bobbles the transfer to his throwing arm. Second sack fly of the inning. Top four, 7-0 Yankees now. Man on third, Bernie Williams. Likes the pitch. It's deep, but Wendell McGee is all over this. And who says SportsCenter just shows home runs? Yankees tie a Major League record with 3 sac flies in 1 inning. Damian Easley, the comebacker. Andy Pettit falls as he fields, throw to first, and Pettit goes the distance, allowing 6 hits. He struck out 5 and he walked 2. Coincidence? I don't think so. The Sosa talks go away. Justice is on his way. The Yanks respond.
Jason Varitek takes Scott Erickson's pitch to short. Mike Bordick gets the grounder. Can't get the double play, and the Orioles don't get out of the inning. Next batter, it's Brian Daubach. Runners at the corners for him. And even with derogatory credit, you can own a brand new car. Daubach's 12th of the season. Red Sox take a 3-0 lead. Now we're in the third, still 3-0 Red Sox. 1 out, Brady Anderson the batter. Tim Wakefield makes him go away with that silly pitch. Top 4, Surhoff popping it up. Daubach drifts under, makes the play. Surhoff 0 for 4, 21-game hit streak is stopped. Wakefield retired 11 in a row at one point. Probably out the 11th guy went out. 9-4 now, bases loaded. Brian Daubach off the glove of Holmes. Mark Lewis gets go past, I'll say that again, it goes past Mark Lewis in the right field. 2 score, and Daubach, big day, 2 home runs for him. The Red Sox stopped their 5-game losing streak with this. Tim Wakefield was in just his first start since June 3rd. Struck out 2 and walked no one in 7 1/3. At Fulmer. All this land is mine for as far as the ball shall travel. A 3-run home run, 4-0 the Jays. He has 14 homers. We're in the third, and Fulmer into the vacancy. Carlos Delgado, who extended his hit streak in this one, comes around from first. And Mike DeFelice is waiting for him. It gets mowed over. 5-1, Toronto's in front. 7th inning, Fulmer singled earlier. Now needs a double for the cycle. The other way to left, hit it well. Chance for the double, but Bubba Trammell making the play, cuts it off. Fulmer has to stop at first. 10-3 Jays. Fulmer one last chance, a 3-2 count. And a walk's as good as a hit, with the exception of the times you're leading 10-3 and you need a double. Fulmer goes 4 for 4. His team wins. The double shy, about the play where Trammell cut it off. The Cub, 3rd inning, no score. Ricky Gutierrez at bat, 2 on. Going to left center. Bruce Avon coming. We mentioned this earlier. Makes the great catch. But then he's in some trouble. Has to leave the game with a strained left ham. Cubs leading 3-2 in the 8th. Sammy's at the plate. Home run. 21st of the year. Cubs out front by a count of 4-2. Now we're in the bottom of the 10th. The score is tied at 4. The bases are loaded. Jason Kendall off of Tim Worrell. And Pat Mears can come on in. The Pirates win it by a count of 5-4. Mike Benjamin, you didn't see him there, but his double helped set up the winning run. He's now 3 for 6 as a pinch hitter this season.
Really?
Mark Wilkins walked a pair, but got out of the 10th for his first win of the season.
Cincinnati hasn't been able to put anything together lately. The Reds hadn't won back-to-back games since June 3rd and 4th, which not coincidentally was the last time they led the Central. Today, the Reds sent their winningest starter, who had never lost to St. Louis, to the mounds in hopes of taking 3 out of 4 in the series and sending the message that there will be a division race after all. Ron Vallone, 7-game winner for the Reds, taking the hill. Top 3, it's already 3-0 St. Louis. Sean Dunston votes it right off the island. A 3-run shot, and just like that, St. Louis up 6-0. Dunston 7th. He was 2 for 5, drove in 4. Dante Bichette now. The Reds down 6-2. A deep drive. Eric Davis tracks it down. Good catch against the wall. Top 5, Cards still up 6-2. Mike Matheny, a bullet that Aaron Boone has, despite the play of alone, give up 7 runs and 8 hits over 5+. Bottom 5, Griffey has been on fire. A solo shot to right, 26th of the year, his 12th this month. It's down to a 6-3 game, but in the top of the 7th, we saw Eric Davis make a great play. And how many times have we seen a high-angle great catch in right field, only to have that player come up a couple of highlights later and take one out of the yard?
All the time.
All the time. His 6th homer. Cards go on to win at 12-3 to now have 132 home runs this season. St. Louis wins for the 13th time in 17 games. Despite a 1-for-15 series from Mark McGwire, the Cards get a split, and the lead is the same as it was when they hit